Well, it's that time. The Pixel 6a is finally here in the Tech Odyssey studio. I know y'all been waiting for this one, so I'm not going to talk too long before I get into this, but it's available for pre-order now, and I got it early. I mean, it comes out on the 28th where you can pick it up in the store. Pre-order started yesterday, the 21st. They sent me the charcoal model, 128 gigabytes of storage, and yeah, enough talking for me. Let's take it out of the box. All right, let's go ahead and take the Pixel 6a out of the box. This one right here, as you can see, I have the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro already. So we like us some Pixels over here on the Tech Odyssey channel. I know this one's been a very polarizing phone so far, and I actually have a lot of thoughts, especially seeing some of the videos that are out already, because there's some crazy takes on this phone. So this is the charcoal version, and you can see here, putting it next to the Pixel 6 Pro, pretty much the same color. Definitely a smaller form factor though. It's much slimmer. So when you look at the Pixel 6, it is a slimmer phone. It is a shorter phone, and it's also a little bit thinner, I think, especially with this reduced camera bump. Look how big the camera module is on the Pixel 6 over here on the left versus the new Pixel 6a. So that should make some people happy. Thinned it down a little bit, and I think that's good. It's got a nice feel in the hand, 6.1-inch screen, and then you've got the two cameras on the back, the ultra wide and then the 12 megapixel primary as well. No telephoto zoom on this one, which I don't think a lot of people expect that in a budget series phone. Of course, the typical button stack over here, power button on top, volume rocker on the bottom. It's a nice sharp looking phone. It's got good build quality. This is definitely the most premium A-series device ever. If you used or seen the previous A-series, the 5A, the 4A, the 3A, they're much more plasticky and just kind of a not quite on the same level of premium. I like the way this one looks here. Also, it's got Gorilla Glass 3 on the front. That's actually a point of contention with some people, but I actually contend it's a pretty good thing because Gorilla Glass 3 is better at preventing surface abrasions and scratches. It's less shatterproof. So the newer ones like Gorilla Glass Victus and the like are designed to not shatter. These with Pixel, like the older Gorilla Glass 3, are less prone to scratching. And I actually kind of prefer that. Put a case on it. If you don't want to put a screen protector, this will actually should get less scratches on the screen, at least to my recollection. And I'm pretty happy about that. So see the camera notch cut out up there, no notch. No headphone jack, you see that that's missing. That's something that's not going to be available in this phone. There's no wireless charging. And it also has the USB-C on the bottom, 18-watt charging. Let's see what else is in the rest of the box, which ain't a whole lot. Following in the footsteps of its Pixel 6 predecessors, the 6 and the 6 Pro, no power brick. You get the standard Google charging cable, USB to USB-C, and then you get the adapter as well, which you can use. And then inside of here is just some documentation. We have the Google SIM ejector tool. And let's go ahead and take this out real quick because I've been doing this more in my unboxings lately. We can have a look and see what the SIM tray looks like. There is no external SD card, so you can't put an SD card in here. And this one, only one SIM. You can only put one SIM in the SIM tray. There we go. All right. Now do some comparison stuff real quick. I'm going to have to set this up. But you put this next to the Pixel 6, and you can definitely see that it is a smaller phone. And one of the complaints about the 6 and the 6 Pro, they're large phones, especially when you talk about the 6 Pro, 6.7-inch screen. It's got the curved edge display. This is a bigger, heavier phone, extra camera, all that jazz. The Pixel 6, and then we'll put these next to each other. And then voila, you can see all three of the phones together. So 6.1-inch, 6.4, 6.7. on the screen ratio, yeah, at least on the front. And yeah, also the thing is with this phone, they're very prone to dust. This phone likes dust, just like its other phones. Of course, you don't see it so much with the green on the Pixel 6, but with this charcoal color, it picks up all sorts of dust. And one other thing I want to highlight in this video, if you watch another video after this one, if you feel so inclined, I'm actually going to do a review because I got these three cases. Got the Spigen Thin Fit Pixel 6a, Ultra Hybrid for the Pixel 6a, and also the Caseology Parallax. So I'm making a review video. You can watch that immediately after this one and find out what the best case is for these phones. The mystery, we'll have to wait until then. So that's all I've got for the unboxing. Let's go ahead and do some first impression stuff and talk more about the phone. All right, guys, here's the Pixel 6a in the flesh. So I got this today, did the unboxing, you saw that part, first hands-on impressions. It feels just like the other phones. And I gotta acknowledge a couple of things here. If you've seen the MKBHD video, which is less than appealing, if you actually care about this phone, it's not a choppy mess. It's not a slow mess. The thing is, when you come from other phones like the Pixel 6 that has 90 hertz, or if you're using the Pixel 6 Pro, which has 120 hertz, the refresh rate on the screen, then yes, the screen experience is not going to feel as smooth. That's the whole point. That's 100% the whole point of buying a phone with an enhanced refresh rate, because it makes for a smoother, more premium experience when you're scrolling through your phone. This is not choppy. This is not laggy. It's got the same horsepower under the hood. They all three have the same tensor chip. So it's really confusing for me when I hear somebody say, okay, this is slow, it's clunky, the 60 hertz doesn't feel like 60 hertz. I think it's more of a case of maybe you just haven't used a 60 hertz screen in a while and you're used to the 120 hertz life and your brain is just trying to tell you this is not pleasing. Well, hey, that's fine. That's okay. But the people that are looking to buy this phone, one, probably have never used a 90 hertz or 120 hertz refresh rate. And if they had, and if that's a priority for you, then you can easily pay the $699 and get the Pixel 6, or you can upgrade to the Cadillac of Pixels, the Pro, for $899. Or you can try and catch them on sale or Amazon Renewed, whatever. There's a lot of ways to get them cheaper. So this phone is perfectly fine. No, it doesn't have a headphone jack. But the Pixel 6 phones don't have headphone jacks. I don't see that as a scratch anymore. We pulled this Band-Aid off years ago, and I know there are a select few people out there still using wired headphones, and that's okay. They're better. I'm acknowledged to you. They are better when it comes to sound quality, but for convenience and for being able to charge them on the go, you pop them back in the case and all that stuff, the wireless earbuds I prefer, and I think most people prefer nowadays, and here's the kicker. If you pre-order the Pixel 6a through Amazon, Best Buy, or Google, right now they will give you a pair of Pixel Buds A series, which are worth $100. So if you think this phone isn't worth $449, well, you get a pair of $100 wireless earbuds for frizzles, and basically that lowers the price of this phone to $350. And if you don't want the earbuds, turn around and sell them. I mean, you could probably still get $50 for them brand new if you sell them on eBay or whatever, but still, even that would lower the price of the phone. So that complaint I don't really get. Is there wireless charging? No, there's not. But if you're worried about that, I don't think that's the priority of people buying this phone. I have wireless charging on almost all my other phones. I don't use it. I know some people use it. When I used to work downtown in my office, it was more convenient for me to place it on the wireless charging pad, but I prefer wired charging. Now, one letdown with this phone that's actually a letdown is the 18-watt charging and the lack of a charging brick. I submit that phones should still have chargers in the box. Call me crazy, but if you're paying $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000 plus for a phone, the sucker should come with the charger, especially a budget phone. Because if you got a budget phone, that probably means you don't have a lot of money laying around to go buy another $30, $40, $50 charger, and you want one straight out of the box, especially at 18 watts. That's pretty much your standard run-of-the-mill charger that's come with phones for the last 7 years. So hopefully you have one laying around and you can use it. If not, then I've got a link down in the description. You can go get a charger that's nice, it'll work for you, that's inexpensive. So charging, yes, it's not the fastest. It's even slower than the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, which were not otherworldly fast at the 30-watt charging. That's not really 30 watts, which is a whole nother story. So the phone itself, it has the camera from last go around, and I'm going to make a camera comparison video. So rest assured, it's thunderstorming and raining right now. I'm not going to go take any pictures outside with this. This is just an unboxing and first impressions. But what I will do, I can go ahead and take a selfie real quick, but it's the same selfie camera as the Pixel 6, which I think is okay. So I'll go ahead and snap a picture real quick. Sadly, I can't find something to bring back my hairline. So the picture, I mean, it looks perfectly fine, other than like my hair's jacked because I'm missing most of my hairline in the front. I'm a good poster child for one of those like hair loss things, like Hims or whatever they're calling it now. Anyway, so yes, the cameras are fine. And it's funny because the Pixel 5, the 5a, the 4a, the Pixel 4, all of those phones were praised so much for being an amazing camera. There was not even a talk the last generation about it being a 3 or 4-year-old camera. Now it seems to be a problem, which I don't think it's a problem. I actually think in some ways it's a good thing. Because if you have the Pixel 6 or the 6 Pro, they have a massive 50-inch camera with a big sensor, which means that when you try and take pictures up close, and I even made a video of this, a lot of times they'll come out with soft edges and blurry, and the focus is not on properly. So that's a problem for people who like to do close-up photography, especially when it doesn't have a macro lens. You don't have that problem with this one because the sensor is smaller. You can get closer, and that's good for some people. And this is still going to take you great photos, just like it did with the Pixel 5a, the Pixel 5, the 4, so on and so forth. It's a great camera, but here's the kicker. The big reason for having the Tensor chip in here is because it's basically the premier chip on a smartphone for computational photography, AI, machine learning, all that stuff. Do you know what makes the Pixel cameras so good? That stuff. All that stuff on the back end is what it does in post-processing. Once you take the photo, it works its Google magic and makes the photo look better. So now you have the best chip in the world with already a fantastic camera that's been around, tried and true for a long time. The photos on here are going to look better than they've ever looked with this camera, and I can't wait to take pictures with it. I've seen some samples, and they look pretty good. So I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison. Pictures with the 6A, pictures with the 6, and we'll come back and we'll have a camera battle over that. And I think that's something exciting you should come back for. And if you want to come back and you're excited about that, hit the like and the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get updates when new videos come out so you don't miss that one. So overall, the phone, also another point of contention people are worried about, the fingerprint sensor. It works fine. Yes, it's not lightning fast. Yes, it's not the most absolute amazing in the world, but we're in a way better position than we were with the original Pixel 6 whenever it came out. So I'm not having any problems with failure rate. It seems to work pretty much just as well as the Pixel 6 does. Maybe the Pixel 6 might be a hair faster. I'm sure with some optimization, there might even be a launch day patch once this comes out. This phone isn't technically out yet, and that's something to also place into framing because the phone comes out on the 28th. This is a pre-order territory, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's a patch. But overall, it's better than it was when the Pixel 6 came out. They put a different fingerprint sensor in here. I guess they thought that would help, or maybe it was a way to save some money. I'm not sure if it's an inferior quality sensor. So the phone itself, if you want a smaller phone, you want a Pixel phone, you want the Tensor chip, you want the renowned Google quality camera, the Google services, the Google apps, all those great things, the voice translation, the voice to text, the call assistant, all those great things, you get that. That's the point of buying this phone. All the great Google services and software and the cool stuff they do with their chip. And you also get 3 years of operating system updates and 5 years of security patches, which is a darn long time. So you get a $450 phone that's going to last you up to 5 years. And that's saying something. And I know there's competition out there like the Samsung Galaxy A53. I'm telling you, I reviewed that phone. I bought it. I tested it. I made several videos. It's not that impressive. It has a nice looking screen. It has 120 hertz refresh rate. It's laggy. The camera's not that great. It's not better than this phone. And if you want to believe that it has wireless charging, which it doesn't, that's another problem. So A53, I don't think is competition. You also look at phones like the Nord series, and you look at like the Motorola G phones. Those are good phones. They're okay at $200-300, and even some cheaper phones have a 90 hertz refresh rate or 120 hertz refresh rate. There's give and take. Even you look at the iPhone SE 2022, it's a solid phone as well. And I'll make a video comparing both of these. I don't really think they compare well. One, because if you're looking to get an iPhone, you're looking to get a cheap iPhone, you're probably not looking to get a Pixel. And if you're looking to get a Pixel, you probably don't want a 4.7-inch 720p screen with a single camera, right? One camera, two cameras. There's a lot of differences here. Although I think there's a place for both of them. They're both good phones. I like both of them. I think the Pixel 6a is going to be a solid phone. I think it's going to follow in the tradition of the 6 and the 6 Pro, picking up at the point in the road where there aren't software problems for it anymore. And could they pop up? Sure, it's Google. You never know with Google. But it's not in the same position we were in when the last ones came out, where they had catastrophic issues and software bugs and problems for like the first 6 months of the phone. That stuff's been ironed out, and now you get a nice Android 12 experience. Also, what you can do is you can opt in for the Android 13 beta, which is something you can do with the Pixel phones. So I think that that's also cool. So I'm going to go and wrap this one up. Hands-on, first impressions. I like it. I like the build quality. The typing on it is actually pretty nice too. Usually when it comes to cheaper phones, the typing experience on the phone is not that great, and the haptic feedback is actually pretty good on here. I think it's better than the Pixel 6. It's not as good as the Pixel 6 Pro, but I think it's a hair better than the Pixel 6. It's more succinct. It's got a nice tactility to it, and it's enjoyable to type on. Also, it's got a 4400 milliamp battery on here. I'm excited to see how that works out because it's got a smaller screen. 1080p, 60 hertz refresh rate. It should actually get better battery life than the Pixel 6 or the 6 Pro, but I'll have to test that out and see. Also, you got your stereo speakers, IP67 dust and water resistance. Not quite IP68, but IP67 I think is totally fine. And you get 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. So those things right there, I wish that it had expandable storage, especially in a budget series phone. It would be nice to have an external SD card you could pop in here. Unfortunately, you can't. That's the way Google's always been. So it's kind of hard to make a complaint about that other than generally, it would be nice, but they're never going to do it. And in addition to that, the 6 gigs of RAM I think is fine. I talked about this before in previous videos. You're not doing anything crazy on this phone. No 4K Quad HD Plus texturing and no big screen. 6.1 inches is totally fine for 1080p, 6 gigs of RAM. You can multitask to your heart's content. This is not going to be a problem, especially with Google's advanced software and their algorithms and the way that they manage memory in the background. 6 gigs, totally fine. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, then please go down in the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.